Sonic and Robotnik's origins are revealed when one day Sonic decides to take his friends Tails, Porker Lewis and Johnny Lightfoot on a trip to the Special Zone, a place filled with all manner of crazy and dangerous environments. It begins with Sonic charging up a star post, explaining that normally only he can enter due to the massive amounts of kinetic energy required to activate it. Once ready, everyone jumps towards the post and are instantly transported to a half-tube-like track, similar to the one seen in the Sonic 2 special stages. Though Sonic seems to forget to tell his friends about the bombs littering the area until they almost get blown up. Once they reach the end of the track, Sonic explains that normally there would be a Chaos Emerald waiting for them. However, he has already collected all of them and hidden them away in a safe place out of Robotnik's reach. Though personally I think it would have been nice to see a little of what he went through to get them. It could have been a nice decent short story. Eventually though, they come across a character who resembles a huge floating screen displaying nothing more than a face. He introduces himself as the Omniviewer, another of Sonic's friends, someone who can freely move through both time and space. Sonic then asks the Omniviewer to use his powers to show everyone the truth behind his and Robotnik's origins. The viewer begins his flashback by showing Sonic accidentally wandering into the lab of a scientist called Dr. Ovi Kintobor, who is currently in the middle of perfecting his latest invention, the Retro-Orbital Chaos Compressor, a machine designed to absorb all the evil from around the world and store it into 6 Chaos Emeralds. But without the 7th Emerald, the machine is still unstable. Sonic decides to hang around for a while, and in his time there, Kintobor decides to test out the limits of his super speed, giving him new friction-reducing power sneakers and having him run as fast as he can on a treadmill, but Sonic proves to be too fast for the machine to handle. When he breaks the sound barrier, the resulting sonic boom causes a shockwave, which smashes the treadmill and causes an explosion, and somehow gives Sonic a completely new look, fusing his spikes together and turning him blue. Because science will do that, I guess. Sometime later, Kintobor decides to take a break from working on the Chaos Compressor so he can get something to eat, but when he and Sonic reach the fridge, all they find is a single rotten egg. Even though the egg has supposedly been there for at least 6 months, Kintobor for some insane reason decides it will be perfectly fine to eat, saying all it needs is a little salt. Enjoy your food poisoning, buddy. On the way back through the lab, Kintobor ends up tripping on a loose wire and crashes into the Chaos Compressor, causing another huge explosion. Sonic rushes to help his friend, though through the thick smoke a figure starts to appear. However, what emerges is no longer the good-natured scientist that Sonic once knew. The evil collected in the emeralds was absorbed into Kintobor, and the rotten egg as well, transforming him into the evil scientist that everyone knows today as Dr. Robotnik. The story of Sonic's past is then suddenly interrupted by the Omniviewer, who urges Sonic and his friends to get away quickly. Before anyone can move, however, the Omniviewer suddenly grabs them all and tells them that he is no longer in control. He sucks everyone into his screen and throws them forward through time, where they will be unable to interfere with Robotnik's plans for world domination. Robotnik looks on at the situation, cheering his victory before moving on to the next part of his plan. Six months later, the Omniviewer reappears in the Emerald Hill Zone to release Sonic, Tails, Johnny and Porker earlier than Robotnik intended. Sonic asks the viewer how he can resist and disobey Robotnik, only to be told that he didn't technically disobey him at all. Robotnik was just sloppy with his wording by not specifying how far into the future Sonic should be sent. The Omniviewer disappears quickly, not wanting to arouse suspicion by being away from the Special Zone for too long. And almost immediately, Sonic and his friends are attacked by a new type of badnik for being in a forbidden area. The sentence for all crimes in Robotnik's new world is death, and the badniks quickly try to carry out the execution. Sonic attempts to smash through the badniks like he has with so many others, but finds himself bouncing off their tougher armour. Instead, he tries to draw their fire away and quickly move between 2 of the robots where their shots end up destroying each other, once again freeing the captured animals inside. With the threat taken care of, Sonic and the gang rush to check on the nearby village, but once they get there, they find it has been completely taken over by Robotnik. Trooper robots, spy cameras and more patrol the streets, keeping Robotnik's laws and executing anyone who dares to disobey. Sonic tries to save one of the villagers, but finds that his spin attack is just as useless against the troopers as it is against the new badniks. Though Sonic reveals that he hasn't been attacking with his full strength, fearful that if he does, he may end up hurting the animals trapped within. Luckily, the villager reveals that the troopers are entirely robotic and don't have any animals inside to power them. Now that Sonic knows he doesn't need to hold back, he attacks with his full force and smashes through the troopers with ease, before turning to one of the floating surveillance cameras, declaring to Robotnik that he will rid Mobius of his evil once and for all. Robotnik watches the whole encounter, only mildly surprised to see that Sonic has returned, but he has no fear of Sonic overthrowing him. After all, he now has control over the entire planet.